I honestly had no idea what this movie was going to be when we were watching it because I barely remembered the trailer. And it was really cool to just watch it basically like blind with no idea what it was about. And it was really refreshing. But again, Blumhouse does this all the time. You know what I mean? What's going on, guys? Cruzin podcast. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Black Phone, new film by Scott Derrickson with Ethan Hawke. For those of you watching right now, whoever did tune in, we did a live stream. This is us literally post live stream. We were testing out some stuff. We had some issues that we had to figure out, so we had to stop it. But we will do another live stream again in the next week or so. So that's why the stream ended for anybody that was trying to tune in or anything like that, because there were people that were tuning in. They were telling us that the stream was acting up. But with that being said, we still wanted to give our thoughts on Black Phone because we did do it on the live stream, but then we just took it down. It wasn't working. This film by Blumhouse, really good movie, really solid, and it's kind of like another surprise hit by Blumhouse. They seem to do this a lot, where it's a movie, you see the trailer for it, you don't think much of it, and then when it comes out, it kind of makes an impact, and it makes its mark in the box office and by word of mouth, because a lot of people were talking about it and saying it was really good and stuff like that. It was getting really good reviews, and it's also doing really well in the box office, and a lot of movies are doing really well in the box office right now, which is great. I think for the first time in the last couple of years, over 5 movies making over 20 million, and I think that's really good to see. It's healthy for the box office. We're seeing movie theaters are back, and people are loving stuff like this, man. Black Phone was really good. Scott Derrickson, it's really well directed, really well written, and it's a fun movie, but I wouldn't say it's like a horror movie. It has horror elements, but it's a really good thriller, supernatural thing too, which I wasn't expecting because we didn't really watch the trailer. We saw one trailer and that was it. And I'm glad that it was like that because I honestly had no idea what this movie was going to be when we were watching it because I barely remembered the trailer. And it was really cool to just watch it basically blind with no idea what it was about. And it was really refreshing. But again, Blumhouse does this all the time. You know what I mean? And I think the kids acts really well in this.
Yeah, the kids are great.
And especially the daughter, the sister of the main character.
I got kind of It vibes.
Yeah, this must have been very inspired by It, because the balloons in this. There's a lot of stuff. I was like, oh shit, I
don't know, and I know why I got just that kid Super 8 Goonies. I don't know, it's
yeah, it's centered around the kids for sure.
Yeah,
and they do great. And Ethan Hawke is awesome. And we were talking about this in the live stream. I really appreciate, and Jeremy John said this too. I really appreciate how he just committed to the role and didn't. It seemed like he didn't really care about showing his face so much, you don't. His face is barely in the movie, and
at all. Yeah, at all.
Times, yeah. And I really respect that because there's a lot of actors that all they care about is their screen time, and I really respect that because he's so good that you don't even need to see his face.
I saw a clip once of it was him talking about movies and man, I forgot the exact thing he said.
Oh, about Marvel but everything is okay.
He just likes good just good stories and good movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can feel that here.
He's one of those good old school actors that he doesn't care. He'll do what it
because and that thing is he's so good that you don't even need to see his face. You know what I mean? That's how good he does with the mask and stuff like that. He does great in this.
If anything, it shows how much better of an actor he is. Yeah. That you can do that without showing your face.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was really good. He did really great, and I respect him for that because there's a lot of actors. We've seen it with the Halo show or anything where I need to show my face at all times because I'm the star, I'm this. And here he just stuck with the role and really, you can tell he really was committed to making his character and the story work, and it really pays off. It really pays off. He does so good. And I think everybody does good in this. And I feel like the movie's really well paced, takes its time, and I really love what they do with the supernatural elements of it. We won't say any spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but Just really, really well done. Really well done and refreshing. Again, Blumhouse always does this though. They always take a genre that genre and make something refreshing and it usually becomes a hit. And this movie, when we went to see it in theaters, it was packed. It was a packed theater. People were clapping. People were reacting. They were
screaming.
They were engaged. And that's how you know you have a good movie there. You know, and really refreshing. And I really like what we're seeing right now in theaters. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing it's like this. We're getting like this fresh sense of the movie theater experience where there's a lot of people like. Again, all these movies making money, you know, you have a Top Gun and you have a Black Phone, but then you see like Elvis is also making some money. Lightyear didn't do as good as they expected, but we're seeing the diversity in the box office where all these different movies, it's nice to see the box office kind of like picking up again, you know, and I think No Way Home and then Top Gun and then these other smaller movies just kind of like raising the bar, everything, everywhere, all at once. Was a huge one. So it's nice to see a lot of different movies just making their money and bringing money into the box office. And Black Phone is one of them right now.
Yeah.
It's one of them, and it's awesome. I'd love to see it. Blumhouse does really good stuff, though. Like, when I saw their intro in the beginning, because I didn't know it was Blumhouse. Because, again, I barely remember the trailer. And I was like, oh, yeah, it makes sense why. Because a lot of their stuff... You don't think it's going to be good, you know, or you kind of like dismiss it and then it ends up becoming like a really good hit, you know.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see. And, you know, Scott Derrickson, you know, who Sinister, he did the first Doctor Strange, which was interesting. Really does really good here. Really good here. And I think he has some other stuff coming up. But you had mentioned too, like after the movie, the soundtrack was really good.
It was.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really good in this, and there was a few there's like one or two things that I wish, in reference to like backstory, I wish we got a little bit more backstory on, like the kid's parents,
or even on the main
not to
villain.
and even on Ethan Hawke's character. I wish there's some characters that, without spoiling it, I wish we got a little bit more backstory on, or at least. Implications of what their backstory was like or something, just a little bit more detail, you know, not like a whole flashback or anything, but I kind of wish we got a little bit more backstory on those things. You know, certain characters like Ethan Hawke's character or our main character's parents. We got a little bit, but I wish we got a little bit more because it's kind of important, you know, and how it relates to the current story and stuff like that in the town. Because it's a really good story. It's really interesting. And it was refreshing, you know, because they didn't try to go like the cliche horror route. It was just this story about a kid, you know, and him trying to.
But it's also kind of like
overcome, with himself, you know, and like learn how to defend himself, kind of thing, you know, and that was cool. It's like at the core, that's what the movie is, and you really feel it by the end of the movie too, And again, like our main characters, the two kids, the brother and the sister, they do great. Like they're really good, and the sister really stands out. She's like an Ant-Man or something, but she really stood out because there's some scenes I was like, wow, like she does really, really good.
Yeah,
you know, it's making money right now, so it's making money. I'm happy to see it making money, and let's see. I mean, but again, Blumhouse always does this, always. So. I like companies like that, you know, like a Blumhouse, and you see like A24 or all these smaller companies.
Their new movie looked weird.
Which one?
That A24 trailer that we saw before this one.
Yeah, the bodies one. Yeah. But let's see, you know. But I appreciate that we're just getting just
do stuff,
random shit. Sometimes it's just random. Like they made a movie about a goat. Remember that? Was it the baby goat?
I heard it was really good though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like. You know, but we're just getting they just make some crazy stuff.
Yeah, they'll go deep.
But I really enjoy seeing that, you know. So, yeah, guys, Black Phone.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a
really
great movie.
good. Really enjoyed it. And was there anything else that we were missing on it?
No,
I don't. The only little critiques I had were just a little bit more backstory.
But like very little, nothing crazy.
Just like a scene or two. Of just a little extra dialogue or something.
Like what's the motivation?
Yeah. That would be it though. I think everything else was just really well done. The way it was directed too, like the premise, the way it was executed was really, really cool. With the supernatural elements, I think, especially with the black phone, and just again, it's really creative how they can take a small movie and like more or less like a small one or two, a couple locations, and make it a whole movie. That was really cool, really, really cool, and it's awesome seeing movies like this get recognition.
Yeah,
you know, I feel like we're starting to see it a little bit. We're starting to see the big CG green screen blockbusters, you know, like because we're kind of seeing with the Marvel stuff, it's not hitting. I mean, Spider-Man hit, of course. Spider-Man is his own monster, but I think we're starting to see people are kind of craving just fresh, good quality content, you know, and just a good movie theater experience. And I think we're starting to see that right now with all these different movies making money. I think Top Gun set a high standard, but then also small movies like Black Phone or all this stuff. Like we're starting to see people just want something fresh, you know? So that's refreshing. I'm glad that we're seeing the box office kind of like start to pick up, you know? That's good to see. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Black Phone. Go check it out. Support those movies. And let us know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe. It helps the channel. It keeps us growing. Our goal is to hit 1,000 subs by the end of the year. That's what we're aiming for. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, for listening. Till the next one.